ทุกท่านค่ะยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่ Startup Thailand and Digital 2016 ค่ะและวันนี้ค่ะทุกท่านอยู่กับดิฉันพลอยพัชรพันธ์ดาวดึงซึ่งจะรับหน้าที่เป็นพิธีกรในวันนี้ค่ะ A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pacharapan Dawading. I will be a master of ceremony for today. First of all, I would like to welcome all participants to Startup Thailand Digital 2016. And this event have an objective for express Thailand commitment in becoming leading country in developing in the new entrepreneurs. And also inspire a new potential startup and expanding business and build a new market with ability of high growth ค่ะและสำหรับที่ผ่านมานะคะ Startup Thailand ของเราค่ะก็ถือเป็นจุดเริ่มต้นสำคัญที่ภาครัฐได้จุดประกายและทำให้เกิดความรู้ความเข้าใจเกี่ยวกับกลุ่มวิสาหกิจเบื้องต้นหรือ Startup อย่างยั่งยืนและเป็นรูปธรรมในสังคมกว้างอีกด้วยนะคะและสำหรับวันนี้ค่ะการสร้างเครือข่ายและการรวมกลุ่มของ Startup ครั้งยิ่งใหญ่ของประเทศไทยนะคะงาน Startup Thailand ค่ะก็เป็นงานที่เกิดจากการบูรณาการความร่วมมือจากทุกภาคส่วนค่ะเพื่อจะร่วมกันขับเคลื่อนและพัฒนาสตาร์ทอัพของไทยนั่นเองค่ะและตอนนี้นะคะก็เป็นเวลาอันสมควรแล้วค่ะดิฉันนะคะขอเรียนเชิญค่ะมิสเตอร์ซังชูซีนะคะ Co-founder Managing Director of Touch Park Global Network and Director of Touch International Limited ค่ะ Please welcome Mr. ซังฮุยชิค่ะ
Hi everyone, good morning. I hope all of you have casted your vote at the new election booths. I guess I'm giving sort of an introduction today as part of Startup Thailand to introduce different ecosystems and especially startup ecosystems in Asia. Just a brief introduction of myself. I started my own co-working space network out of Hong Kong, building mostly physical co-working spaces around 2.5 years ago. So as a result, after my third co-working space, Touch Holdings, which is the operator of Tsinghua University Science Park, came in to be my investor, and that's why my network is now called Touch Park Global Network. Let me see if this works. So I guess today's talk is really about how to build a startup ecosystem. When we think about a country or a city and how innovation can improve the economy of the certain city or country, we usually, from a government's perspective, usually think about whether or not the ecosystem or the place has these necessary attributes. So you need to have money, you need a market to actually where startups can do business. It doesn't always have to be your own market. For Thailand, a lot of startups also serve and go to other Southeast Asia markets to expand. For Hong Kong, the market is usually for US or overseas companies to go to China. So Hong Kong is sort of a gateway into China and also a gateway to the rest of Asia for a lot of startups. Talent, obviously, in a company, especially in their first few early stages, people is very important. You need the right talent, you need sort of the right leadership in order for your company to work. And for a government, you need to have very high quality people that can excel in your technical aspects of running your business, of promoting and marketing your business. And lastly, the actual help of the government is very important. I know that Thailand has a range of subsidies and programs to help startups and university students through different funds and different sort of incentive programs. For Hong Kong, it's the same situation. I am not going to promote Hong Kong today, but as you know, the talk and the center of the theme is to use Hong Kong as a case. So Hong Kong is at the heart of Asia. As you can see, the red part is non-China Asia, and to the north we have China. So it really serves as sort of the middle and the heart of Asia. What do we actually mean by some sort of metric is that if you get on a plane, more than 100 airplanes operate within 1,000 flights daily. So if you fly around the radius for 4 hours, you pretty much hit most of Asia. So that's that's a good thing. If you do 5 hour, that doesn't quite cover Thailand. Yes, it does. So 5 hours, you actually get half of the world's population within 5 hours. Being a startup or being a founder that's based in Hong Kong, that's very important, and Hong Kong realizes this as the strength of its ecosystem. When we talk about Hong Kong is before 1997 was part of the United Kingdom. So we were operated under the common law. After 1997, we are part of China. So as a result, we have one country with China and two systems. This provides flexibility in taxing, in a lot of the legal jurisdiction. A very important thing to note is that, for example, if you are a fintech company trying to set up in Hong Kong, you can test the UK system and you can test the UK regulations in Hong Kong. If you want to branch it to China, it's really just 30 minutes away. So this is sort of a geographical and also legal advantage that Hong Kong presents. Like I said, in addition to the good framework and sort of complete framework of legal systems, we also don't have a lot of things. We don't have VIT, GST, sales tax. We don't have wine tax. We have global taxation rules. We have very low estate duty commitments. Withholding tax on investment is also very low. So there's a lot of no's on the things that, as a startup, it's very hard to navigate. And we make sure, these are the things you don't have to care about. Just going back to, Hong Kong is not the perfect case for an ecosystem for startups. We are not trying to be Singapore. We're not trying to be, Silicon Valley. We understand that Hong Kong has its own advantage and geographical and also geopolitical advantage of being at the heart of China and at the heart of Asia. And as a result, it attracts a lot of different types of people as tourists, as workers, and as founders, entrepreneurs. Some of them might end up being in China, and most of them are very successful and have moved away from Hong Kong. But Hong Kong has realized that, it has to be good at something. So let's figure out what it is. Let's provide these basic systems so all startups can take advantage of these. And also the next step is really to figure out what, in terms of money, in terms of market, in terms of talent and governance, how the ecosystem for some particular types of startup and verticals within innovation, Hong Kong can sort of develop further. Just sort of geography lesson here. In terms of people, we have around almost over 7 million. This is actually outdated. But when we look at the greater Pearl River Delta, this creates a very dynamic sort of interaction between Hong Kong and the rest of China. Because of this Pearl River Delta, the land area and sort of the export and import capabilities, it has formed the basis of a lot of industries. And when we think about innovation industry, hardware, IoT sort of industry is very much the focus of this area. There are lots of policies by the Hong Kong China government to encourage startups in this area, to encourage companies to innovate. We have Tencent, in this area. We have Huawei in this area. We also have, on the other side, in Hong Kong, headquarters of a lot of international IoT-related companies. So it creates a lot of interaction between China and the rest of the world. And the Pearl River Delta is really an extension beyond sort of the Hong Kong as the epicenter. Mobile connectivity, I think Thailand is actually quite high on the ranks in terms of mobile connectivity. You guys use a lot of, you guys pay a lot of things with your mobile phone in addition to socially, networking online. But Hong Kong actually has a penetration of 228%. So I would probably have 2.2 phones per person. That's really for sort of adults. And of course, we have kids that have phones these days as well. The speed is also very important, and the fact that a lot of companies and products can be used in Hong Kong, and a lot of Hong Kong people use Chinese products and international products. So we have Facebook, we also have Renren, we also have Weibo, we also have Weixin. So WeChat, the Facebooks, and Instagram, sort of the equivalent of both worlds, are all presented in Hong Kong. So for a founder and an entrepreneur, if you want to test a market, you have a population of 6.8 million people that can use different types of social media tools, and that can be testers for you. So these users might not be your long-term users, but this is a true place that we can say that represents East meets West. When we think about market, so one of the second thing is market, right? In terms of a market that a founder can sort of focus on, having customers is very important, is number one. We have a lot of high net worth individuals with money that can be your angel investors. So this is sort of having the market and the money for an ecosystem to be expandable. And this number is increasing. We have around 142,000 high net worth individuals in Hong Kong, and it has increased to 281%. So high net worth individuals are people that have at least $1 million disposable cash that they can invest or invest into different assets. Most people, honestly, in Hong Kong invest in real estate, but a lot of people are really trying to go into and understand innovation, and high net worth individuals also come with a set of skills, so they can help founders navigate through their angel stage. The second one is really about connecting to the world, and especially connecting to China. You have consumers that pretty much is I think it's around 8 times the population of Hong Kong that can be accessible when you're just in Hong Kong. So a lot of the times we know founders who travel from Hong Kong to Shenzhen every day. So they do 40-minute ferry ride, bus ride every day to get access to China and their Chinese consumers. This is very true for Hong Kong as sort of a good place to live in. obviously, traditionally, Hong Kong is a shopping heaven, so you have the fact, sort of the fashion industry that's in there. If you're in a fashion startup, fashion app, or anything related to fashion or e-commerce, Hong Kong treats its shoppers very well, and it's a very good launch pad for companies like that. And F&B I think is also very relatable to Thailand. There are lots of restaurants of different calibers, and in terms of this promotes cultural expansion and cultural understanding within your group. When you're running a company in Hong Kong, you have lots of places to socialize. At the same time, if you're an F&B startup, it's a great place for you to test your product. In terms of foreign direct investment, we are actually sort of pretty much ahead of Singapore, which is number 7, as the headquarters for a lot of and regional headquarters for a lot of international and multi-international corporations. The reason why they choose to be in Hong Kong is because a lot of their CEOs want to live in Hong Kong. And I've met a lot of them over the years, and this is also sort of us being just right underneath and wedged between China and USA is very good. When it comes to business investments, flow of money, there are different stock exchanges that enables continued domestic investment and foreign investment into China. Hong Kong really works as a hub. As you can see, in English it's called the Shanghai Hong Kong Stock Market, and also we have the Stock Connect that has launched, is I guess the product of a lot of market demand. And as a result, a lot of people especially global markets, see China as a more and more mature market. They would like to have direct access to the Chinese market, and Hong Kong's stock exchange sort of infrastructure is very mature, and that's why it sort of initiated these programs to be the gateway of investments into China. When we talk about Hong Kong and sort of the rest of Asia, we have the Belt Road, and as you can see, we sort of also have the Maritime Road, which is the southern connections to these different locations, which includes Thailand. And Hong Kong is really sort of the end stop or the start of this Belt Road. And when you think about innovation and product development and a lot of economy that is driven by innovation, culturally and sort of geopolitically, this sort of puts Hong Kong definitely on the map. Like I said, lots of global operations in Hong Kong. Startups. So we have immense growth in co-working spaces. We have around 50, I think so far, co-working spaces in Hong Kong, which has around 6 times population of Chiangmai, but it packs a lot of people. These co-working spaces are starting to focus on different industries, but we are seeing a continued growth. And this, obviously, from the government point of view and also from an ecosystem point of view, promotes innovation and also promotes employment. As a breakdown of these startups, most startups are in ICT. Most startups are also in e-commerce, IoT. So it helps with the sectorial sort of focus. Is really, like I said, part of the result of Hong Kong being a part of the Pearl River Delta. We have a new sort of category, which is design, and fintech. We're also seeing sort of a huge growth. Design, I believe, is also related to fashion. So this is sort of something that is, that is sort of being nurtured inside of Hong Kong, and more people are starting up companies around design. In terms of incubators, I'm not sure if Chiang Mai or Thailand has a lot of incubators or accelerators. We have quite a lot in Hong Kong. This is sort of a snapshot. We have Science Park, Hong Kong Science Park, and Cyberport, which is part of the government providing resources continually. So we have the general ones. We also have a lot of banks, a lot of companies, corporates, doing programs to help themselves and help startups get resources from them. So for TGN, Taspark Global Network, for us, we're in B2B, and we also have sort of a fintech, accelerator, which I will talk about later. In terms of public funding, like I said, lots of schemes, fundings, programs over the years. The Hong Kong government has recently renewed their efforts through the Innovation and Science Bureau, and there will be sort of increasing monetary support to startups coming to Hong Kong and starting up in the future. A lot of these programs are related and a part of universities and a part of sort of their local public bureaus. But we actually can see a lot of private money going in through accelerators, sort of accelerators here to help these companies. So accelerators, there are some accelerators that will give you money in exchange for your company's equity, and I would say less than half of them run this way in Hong Kong, and a lot of these accelerators are fintech related. Because a lot of banks actually have their regional headquarters in Hong Kong, and this promotes quicker partnership formation with startups and banks. This is sort of a snapshot of our version of Startup Thailand. It's Start Me Up Hong Kong. This was held, and this is, I think, regularly held at the end of each annual fiscal year in December. We had Elon Musk from Tesla visit us, and I think that's when he told everyone that he wants to go to Mars on stage. So we also have, kids pitching session, and that was very interesting because you have primary school children pitching you very, very good business ideas. And obviously, our sort of head of commerce was the head of the entire program. So that was sort of an overall of the ecosystem and using Hong Kong as a case study to sort of display, from the money, market, talent, and governance side of things, how an ecosystem can be sort of understood in terms of, startup and innovation. What we do actually at Taspark Global Network is that we provide services and investments to startups and innovation companies in general. You can be very big, or you can be just one or two people starting out. If you are an innovation focused company, we might be able to help you. So Taspark Global Network has sort of a very good background and resource platform created and shared through our investors, which is TUS Holdings. And sort of giving you an overview of what TUS Holdings does can, I think, give you a sort of a introduction of why we want to be a global network and share our resources overseas. From a TUS Holdings point of view, we are covered in around 134 cities and municipal sort of areas in China. We have over 40 science parks across China that we develop, manage, and operate. And as a result, over the past 20 years, sort of real estate, and development in science parks has become the sort of the main pillar of business for TUS Holdings. The different areas of focus are also related to our technology services and investments. We have around 400 companies under TUS Holdings ecosystem. This ecosystem is constantly growing, and we look at investments in education, in media, in new technology, new energy, enlarged health, which is really just big health. That was a wrong translation. And digital industrial city, so network companies. Our newest acquisition is 21 ViaNet, which is listed in NASDAQ, and together we are actually building sort of a smart science park network to promote the rest and the other sectors of focus within TUS Holdings. So this is sort of a photo of the TUS Holdings CEO forming sort of an agreement with the Swiss government under sort of the witness of Xi Jinping from China at the back, as you can see, and also the leader from Sweden. So after the brief introduction of what TUS Holding does, TUS Park Global Network is really sort of the global arm of services and industry and services to industry and investments. We are in 6 Asian markets now, and we will be expanded into 10 Asian markets by the end of this year. But as you can see, the resources from TUS Holdings provides a huge huge space for expansion. And these resources include resources in technology investments, in services, and in space, in physical space. So why are we different? We're actually operation of space and virtual space. We have physical space and we have virtual space. We are sort of the gap in between to help innovation industry. When we have a space, we usually would see from market research what fits into that location, that country or city. Sometimes a TGN work hub might work. Sometimes TGN makerspace might work. TGN academy and cafe and gym. So we have different brands that we can plug into physical spaces. Let's say for Shenzhen, in our space of 28,000 square feet. We have a TGN cafe, we have a TGN makerspace, we have TGN workspace, and we also host TGN Academy, especially for kids who learn to code. So there are different components, and it depends on where we expand. We plug in these elements into a physical space. As an example of what we have in TGN Work Hubs, we are the largest one in Hong Kong by single entity management. We have 4 locations, soon to be 5. We also have one in Shenzhen, in Shanghai, in Beijing, and we are opening in Seoul, Korea, Singapore, and Taipei end of this year. These are some of the photos of our space. And when it comes to sort of reiterating what I said before about the different modular approaches from online to offline of a physical space, that could be a real estate play. What we really focus on is having a single access point and system that supports the entire pyramid. So at the bottom is a system. At the bottom is that everyone who's a member of a TGN anything can have global access to our workspace, cafes, gyms, academy. We might have a hotel in the future. So the premise is that nowadays, especially the up and coming, founders and sort of, center of the workforce in the world are global citizens. We are global citizens that have a global access online and offline to things. The way we work is going to be very different, and the way we think about the work-life balance will be very different. A lot of us actually use our phone to work a lot every day. We can be anywhere. I'm in Thailand. I actually actually people don't know I'm in Thailand because I act like I'm in Hong Kong. I reply to every single email. I work the same way. And this is sort of a start of a global citizen revolution that will change the way real estate, the way space is seen. You buy stuff online now. But then you need to sleep in a physical space. You can't sleep on the cloud, right? This is sort of this dynamic and relationship between your work life and your personal life and the way you have fun is going to redefine how a space is used, and that's what we're in the business for. Just sort of you can go online and sort of download our app, but this is the TGN app where you can you have global access to all our conference rooms, all our breakout rooms, and we have events almost every day. We have workshops that help you code, that help you design, that help you understand your business, that help you promote in China or outside of China. We have pretty much events every day across our different locations. And lastly, one last thing about TGN is that from a capital point of view, so do we invest money? This is what most people care about, and they want us to see if we can be an investor. One way we do things is to work with funds across the world, around the world, that have portfolio companies and with the potential to enter China. So a lot of these companies can be in different areas of focus. They can be biotechnology company. They can be a content-focused company. They can be a content talent agency in Korea, for example. Then we bring and license the technology or the business and bring them and localize them in China. Same can be said for companies that want to go out of China. A lot of the times, companies, especially the ones that are related or invested by TUS Holdings, are much larger, and they want to go out of China to raise more money, either through the public or secondary market. So they either want to go IPO, or they want to have a market expansion through strategic investors outside of China. So we help these companies actually achieve by positioning ourselves in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong has a very good infrastructure, and it has a very good channel, so we can invest into them offshore, or we can invest into them in China. As you know, there's sort of a foreign currency restriction still, and Hong Kong is very good at sort of navigating around the system. One last thing, when I was talking about accelerators and incubators, one thing that we started in Hong Kong is a fintech accelerator called Supercharger. We started this last year, and it's Hong Kong's first homegrown fintech accelerator. So financial technology going abroad. When we think about an accelerator or an incubator and their impact on their social or actual impact for a startup is very different. When you enter an accelerator, the impact of that, so accelerator is actually fifth down, and you can see that it has the highest impact in innovation and culture, and then mildly high impact in introduction of new markets, platforms, and solving problems. So when you think about why I want to go into an accelerator or incubator, innovation and culture has a huge impact on the startup's future expansion. When you are just starting out, accelerators can help you innovate, and it can help you introduce new markets and cultures. The other ones are new markets, platform, and solving problem. As you can see, investments actually has a higher impact. So before you get money from your investors, joining an accelerator will actually up your chances of going into new markets, establishing a platform, and being better, help yourself be better at solving problem as a company. As a result of sort of Hong Kong's location and Hong Kong's sort of low taxing, complete legal system, we can see that the fintech market in Asia has actually grown a lot, but the growth really is in China. So we can see that China, obviously, in terms of investment by deal size, it's all the way up there at the bottom. The second one above, we have Japan and Singapore sort of leading the way in Asia in terms of the total number of deals done in terms of value. But a lot of companies are going through Hong Kong to expand out and to go into China. And also as a gateway, fintech is a focus of the government. And when I talked about, the government providing a basic infrastructure for startups, the next step is to figure out, okay, we're really good. We can help startups start their first 6 to 12 months. Is there a focus that Hong Kong can really be good at? And fintech is on the government's agenda to be a focus in pushing for innovation. What we usually do, the supercharger, usually we go to a corporate or we go to a bank or a financial services company, and we go to them and be like, hey, do you want to innovate? If a lot of them come to us and tell us that they have specific reasons why they want to build an accelerator. We have, for example, a DBS. I don't know if you guys have DBS Bank here, but DBS is a Singapore bank. They have an accelerator for fintech in Hong Kong, but we actually work with technology and financial companies. So we work with banks, FIs, FinServe's company, in addition to technology companies to create sort of a full loop and closed loop of support. So this is sort of just, a process of we go to a company and we ask them about their regional strategy, what they want to do regionally. And then the next stage is establishing their internal objective, what they really want to do internally. Do they want to promote startup culture with their employees? Do they want to actually look at investments? Do they want to do both? What does a bank want to do to innovate is very important internally for them. So once we have understood that, we need to understand how important external influence and exposure is to them. A lot of banks go into accelerator as a marketing scheme. So a lot of them don't invest in these companies. They want to tell people that they're innovating, and to understand to what extent marketing is and what extent investment is for that particular client is very important for us when we invite them to be a sponsor of our program. So these are 4 companies that went through our first batch. We had 161 applications globally. Actually, we have around 10 from Thailand. Unfortunately, we didn't choose anyone from Thailand, but we also had these applications from 25 countries. We chose 4. We chose 4 companies to go in. These 4 companies, especially Funding Society, actually just raised $10 million just last week. So we're very happy that they went through our program, and hopefully, I'm sure, some of the partnerships that were done while we were accelerating them help them do their next round of funding. We also have 4 late-stage scale-up companies. These are B+ round companies that went through our program. We have WeCash, Jade Payments, Microcred, which is sort of a micro-lending platform originated in Africa, and then EKO, which was a P2P payment on the phone. So these are examples of our first batch. Again, if you're a fintech accelerator or a fintech startup, we're starting applications now for our second batch. We are a founding organization of Supercharger. The Supercharger brand was born last year when we started our first batch with Standard Chartered Bank and Baidu. This year, we are doing this with Standard Chartered Bank, Fidelity, and ourselves. We will actually have very interesting collaboration with the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. I don't know if it's public yet, so I don't know if I should say it, but it will be a very, very interesting sort of partnership for this program. So if you're a fintech or you know anyone who's running a fintech startup, encourage them to apply to this program which will start in January next year. So this is our team for the accelerator program. Deadline is October 10th. You can take a photo and share the website to your friends that are interested. So that's it. Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณมากๆเลยนะคะมิสซางฮุยชินั่นเองค่ะ Co-founder and Managing Director of Trust Park Global Network and Director of Trust International Limited ค่ะได้ค่ะสำหรับตอนนี้นะคะอยากถามทุกท่านค่ะว่าท่านไหนนะคะมีคำถามหรือว่าสงสัยตรงไหนนะคะมีคำถามถามได้เลยค่ะใครมีคำถามไหมคะไม่มีนะคะโอเคค่ะและในลำดับต่อไปนะคะคุณอนุสรามโนหารนะคะหัวหน้าฝ่ายบ่มเพาะธุรกิจเทคโนโลยีอุทยานวิทยาศาสตร์และเทคโนโลยีมหาวิทยาลัยเชียงใหม่นะคะจะเป็นผู้มอบของที่ระลึกค่ะเรียนเชิญได้เลยค่ะและขอเรียนเชิญนะคะมิสชางฮุยชิด้วยค่ะด้านหน้าเวทีเลยค่ะขอบคุณมากๆค่ะขอบคุณทั้งสองท่านมากๆเลยนะคะและขอบคุณค่ะผู้ร่วมสัมมนาทุกท่านด้วยนะคะหวังเป็นอย่างยิ่งค่ะว่าข้อมูลที่วันนี้ได้ความรู้ค่ะจะนำไปต่อยอดและก่อให้เกิดประโยชน์ในชีวิตประจำวันของท่านได้ในลำดับต่อไปค่ะ Thank you for your participation and attention. I hope that seminar today has offered knowledge, insight, and information which can be applied into practical use. และสำหรับรอบนี้นะคะต้องขอลากันไปก่อนค่ะสำหรับการสัมมนาของเรายังไม่จบในวันนี้นะคะรอบบ่ายเรายังมีอีกรอบหนึ่งค่ะและเจอกันใหม่ได้ในรอบหน้าสำหรับรอบนี้ขอบคุณค่ะ